Welcome. This is Brett Johnson from OneMedRadio in New York City. Today we are with Debbie Hutchinson. She's president of Wound Management Technologies, a symbol WNDM on the over-the-counter QB. It is a Fort Worth-based advanced wound care products company. Thanks for joining us today, Debbie.
It's my pleasure.
So, Debbie, can you go ahead and tell us about the business of Wound Management Technologies?
Sure. Wound Management Technology is a rapidly growing provider of advanced biotechnology products, the main one being Accelerate RX, which is an activated collagen product in the advanced wound care market. And
can you tell us a little bit what problems why was wound management created? What problem are you addressing?
Well, Wound Management's first venture was Wound Care Innovations, our subsidiary with the Accelerate RX product. And Accelerate RX is a unique collagen product, so it's addressing a worldwide market of $3 to $5 billion in advanced wound care products of serious wounds. So we're FDA indicated for everything except third-degree burns. So we're taking care of things like diabetic ulcers, venous stasis ulcers, surgical wounds, first and second degree burns, and so forth. So lots and lots of need in that market.
And so how does your product work, or what makes it special and different than how these wounds are being addressed today?
Well, the Accelerate RX advantage is that it's what we call activated collagen. So the collagen molecule is chopped or cleaved into small molecular pieces by patent. And what that means is when it hits a wound, it starts working immediately, as opposed to a different collagen product that your body would have to break down to be able to use. Some of those products, could take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks to be effective, like our product is. So that, combined with the fact that we have a product that will conform to any wound size because it's both in a powder and a gel, it's not a pre-measured dressing that has special handling or characteristics where maybe you use part of it and have to throw the rest away. So it just has a couple of those advantages added together, just give it some really unique flavors.
That's terrific. So what markets what are the main markets you're going after with this product?
Well, clearly the medical markets, which, would be home care and assisted living in nursing home and hospitals, in addition to wound care centers, medical surgical, VA, which would include, of course, the VA hospitals. And then we also have a government and retail strategic side that just kind of extend that out further.
So will you be licensing the product or building your own distribution networks for each of these areas that you're going into?
In most cases, we're building our own distribution channels. We have one unique strategic partner where we licensed the Accelerate RX powder in North America to a group because of their reach within the hospital community. But most of the time, we're going after the distribution community.
So what do you see as sort of what are the first goals of the company in terms of which of the categories are you going to pursue first? And what's your outlook on sort of revenue that could come from those categories?
Oh, sure. Well, we're actively selling through a variety of hospitals, through a variety of wound care centers across the country. We have physicians that have used the product during our development stage for 6 years. We have one particular physician in the Pacific Northwest that accounts for, a reasonable, or that's a bad word, a large amount of sales every year just from one doctor, really understanding how well it works and using it through the hospitals and wound care centers in her area. So we've got medical community going. We've got long-term care chains that have Accelerate RX on formulary. We've got hospitals and home care agencies adding to that. In addition to that, we have a government initiative to extend beyond the 10 VA hospitals we're currently in. We have an engagement with a group called Government Marketing and Procurement that is getting us on their GSA schedule for service I want to get disabled, veteran service-owned, minority-owned classifications. And we anticipate that will be finalized very, very shortly now. And that will just basically extend the reach and the amount of product we can sell through those channels. So that's pretty exciting. In addition to that, we have some distributors that we've licensed to go after the retail markets. So they've created their own programs to sell product on TV, one via the Internet, to sell in the situations where people choose to do the private pay to buy product themselves as opposed to going through healthcare reimbursement.
I see. So the consumer product would be similar to, is it Neosporin? Is that the product that people use today on the consumer?
Very different, very different. Neosporin would be an antibiotic. What CellerateRx will do will keep a moist, healing environment, and it will help the body repair itself with collagen. You can use it in conjunction with an antibiotic like a Neosporin if that's necessary. When you have a wound, you would clean it the first time. You could put an antibiotic if you chose, Neosporin or another. You can put Cellerate on top of it, cover it up, leave it alone, and let the healing process begin. One of the interesting things about Cellerate is once you do that the first time, you don't have to take the product out in the future. So you don't have to take that bandage off, clean the wound, re-agitate it, create pain, create a breakdown of the healing that's happening. You just put more product on top of the old product. It's biodegradable. More on top, recover it up, and let it continue to heal.
Terrific. Have you been able to do any sort of analysis in terms of, obviously, wounds healing faster cost the healthcare system less? Has anyone done any sort of an analytics as to the impact in terms of a cost savings that an acceleration of wound care can have?
Yes, there have been, and you'll find some of those on our CellerateRx.com website. Interestingly, they also come to us from the outside. On the CellerateRx.com website, under the video and information section, there's a news story that was done by WFLA Tampa, where a doctor found out about Cellerate, used it in the hyperbaric chambers to treat diabetic lung ulcers in addition to the chamber, and talks in that program that they did on the news down there that he estimates they were saving $20,000 per patient for adding products like Cellerate to the hyperbaric chamber to heal wounds faster.
Interesting.
So that's just one, anecdotal, third-party thing. We have all kinds of statistics on, using Cellerate to treat diabetic leg ulcers and closing wounds within 5 weeks. I've heard other people talk about statistically relevant studies like ours where they're closing wounds in 8 weeks or 10 weeks or 12 weeks. So time is money, obviously. We don't go head on head against other products when we do our studies typically, but it's pretty easy to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So you have a contract with the VA hospital, as you indicated?
We sell to 10 VA hospitals today, so it's not a contract. It's just VA hospitals are able to buy up to $3,000 of Cellerate a month per hospital without going out to open bid. When we're on the GSA schedule, what that means is they can buy a lot larger quantity of product on the GSA schedule because we'll be classified in a way that makes that possible.
Right. Is it hard to get on the GA schedule?
GSA schedule? Well, to get on the GSA schedule with someone that has the classifications to give you business advantages, like the service-owned disabled veteran classification, it just takes some time, and obviously you have to work with quality people. To get on a healthcare schedule, the VA has to approve that, so they have to, realize or recognize, I guess is the right word, that the product has great advantages.
So where is the product produced, and what would be your limitations in terms of supplying the market?
We currently manufacture our product at a group called MPL in Pennsylvania. We don't have any limitations on manufacturing to date and don't anticipate any for quite some time because they've got large capacity.
Okay.
But, in the event that we ever, got so large that we felt like that wasn't enough, we could easily extend and bring in a second manufacturing facility.
So as for milestones for the coming year, what do you see as the major objectives?
Well, our major objectives, which we announced in January, part of them we've met, I'm happy to say, is basically to become cash flow positive and profitable within the next year. Coming out of years of development, that's obviously a big goal for us. The first quarter of this year, we were cash flow profitable from operations for the first time ever. The second quarter wasn't quite the same, but it'll continue to build as we even out cash. Other large things for us were basically to get a broad reach of products out there. So we now have announced retail efforts in addition to major healthcare systems. We said we will have at least 2 of those major healthcare systems as active users and purchasers of Celerate by the end of the year. We also have the goal by this Christmas, which we believe that we'll meet, to bring products from our other group, resorbable orthopedic products, out onto the market, so that we're not counting just on revenues from our Celerate product.
Terrific. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved in the company?
I got involved in the company from running across some of the original investors about 10 years ago. Very, very interested in the product, like everybody else that has a story. Had the opportunity to use the product a couple times when I badly burned myself in the kitchen, and was just amazed at how well it worked. So I started working several years ago with one of the major investors in the company on a variety of products, and they're the ones that brought me into this, to take it forward. Most of my background has been in information technology or healthcare information technology, developing companies, creating cash flow, creating revenues, until about 12 years ago when I also got involved in healthcare products. So I have a pretty varied background of taking products to market, doing international business as well as national business, and creating commercialization plans.
Well, it sounds like you have a very exciting opportunity ahead of you, and certainly a busy time. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's always our pleasure to talk. I'd be happy to answer questions at any time.
Terrific. That is Debbie Hutchinson from Wound Management Technology, symbol WNDM, traded on the over-the-counter QB. And Brett Johnson signing off from New York City for OneMedRadio. Thank you and good day.